Someone answer this question. What is going on with emerging adult white males between the ages of, say, 18 and 25 to 30? I ask you this because most of the clients that come to me have young adult white males between 18 and, say, 30, and they are sleeping all day, gaming all night, hiding from their parents, hiding from the world, smoking a lot of weed. They don't want to grow up. And I don't want to use inflammatory language, but I have seen so much of this in the last 18 months that I would say this is an epidemic. And I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's a complex issue. I think it has to do with the attraction of gaming and the escape of that. I think it has to do with losing faith in the world and the way it's going at the moment. And I think in some ways we all hit that 20s and we're like disillusioned with the fact that we have to grow up and like kick it into gear and take responsibility for ourselves. And maybe we don't want to do that. But why is it so much more difficult these days for this generation?
So let's go over some information to see if we can figure out what the problem is. Men made up 79.4% of the recorded 49,449 deaths nationally last year, according to the CDC. White men make up 30% of the United States population. They accounted for 60%, or 29,847 of the deaths last year, according to the CDC. Finkel stated that men, especially white men, can feel the pressure of societal and throwback gender role expectations and still not showing stigmatized weaknesses of their mental health. Gender roles associated with career expectations in the market-based economy also play a role, Finkel stated, pointing to how society can look down at working class and lower income men employed in some lower paying service sector jobs. Quote, they are consistently told that they should be successful, they should be making a lot of money, that they should be providing for or having a family. That men are more impulsive in their decisions to X themselves out and are less likely than women to talk about their mental health challenges openly. Quote, they are really more likely to self-treat or self-medicate with alcohol. I think they are less likely to ask for help in general. I think asking for help as a male is seen as a weakness. From another article, they pose these questions. Why do white males, with all the advantages we are afforded in American society, account for 70% of the issue and take ourselves at nearly twice the national rate? Why is this suddenly rising among women, 45 through 64, though it remains 3 times higher at 29.1 deaths per 100,000 for men of the same age? Why is the rate highest in the Mountain West, a vacation haven and outdoor playground? Roy Holloway, chaplain of the Aspen Volunteer Fire Department, operates an emergency hotline. He put it this way to National Geographic's, quote, the ski season goes by and people think, I didn't meet the girl of my dreams. I got laid off. I don't have any more money. I'm embarrassed and I don't want to tell my family that I didn't succeed. In Aspen or Detroit, a little red state towns like the ones in which I grew up. It's how we measure failure and what we decide to do about it. And that takes me back to my indictment about the American dream. The idea this nation affords each of them the opportunity to be whatever they want comes true for many, but certainly not all. Unspoken is the converse implication, especially for white men, born with the advantage conferred by race and gender. If you can't make it, it's your fault and your failure. Individuals can define success differently, but their upbringing and cultural norms teach them to keep score and that they define winning in America in dollars and creature comforts. If they are not born into money, it can be freeing and motivating to believe that their lot is not cast, that America affords each of them the chance to obtain meaningful employment and have enough money to live comfortably. So here we have a consistent problem, and we have the numbers to back it up of why it is that you have a lot of white males deciding to take in an exorbitant amount of alcohol or drugs. Why you see fields of white men deciding that, hey, I just want to play video games, right? I just want to get away from the world. That's because a lot of them are feeling powerless. They feel like they don't really have a space. You have feminism that has pretty much jacked up that whole situation, and they've jacked up the dating market and also the field of marriage. You also had a variety of other things that transpired where it's like women are like, hey, we don't really need to get married. I don't really need a boyfriend or a husband, a fiance. I don't actually need you to do anything for me, right? So the main job requirements that white men would normally do, which is like, hey, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to take care of the kids. I'm going to pay for the house. I'm going to pay for the car. I'm going to, take care of the outside things, of the house. I'm going to be, the protector. I'm going to be the order, right? When you take all of those things away from an individual where they were raised on that, where that is all they know, where that is their intrinsic value, where all of that basically resides, their confidence and everything, you're going to have a downfall. You're going to have a cascading effect. You're going to have an avalanche. You're going to have a landslide. And that's clear cut what you are seeing right now when it deals with white men. And you have this woman asking, I don't understand why is this transpiring? Ask the women that you follow. Look at the history of women and how women have tried to basically pry, push, and get men directly out of the way so that they can take up both slots, both being a woman and taking the place of whatever role a man was supposed to do. You literally have women out here stating to men openly, I don't need you. I can have a child and I don't need a man to help me raise a child. I don't need a man to help me raise a family. Do you like people don't actually understand what that does. You don't understand what it is that you're conveying. In one instance, you have women trying to convey like, "Oh, I'm strong, I'm independent, I can do anything that I want to." But on the other end, you're conveying to a lot of men that pretty much the only thing that I need you for, I just need DNA. That's it. That's it. I don't need you to be a father because I can be that father. Do you understand how that sounds? Stating that to men that, yo, I could sit up there and have a child by myself and I'm going to be both the mother and the father. That is nonsensical speak. No man out here that is a single father, and I know men, no man have I ever talked to that is a single father have ever stated online or any other point in time, yeah. I'm a single dad. I'm going to be both the father and the mother. I'm going to be a better mother than every single woman. I've never heard men out here stating that because men know it's like, yo, we got a certain job that we can do. I live the role of a man, of a father. I grew up as a boy and a young man into a full-fledged man. I know that story. I know that book like the back of my hand. I can teach that. I can divulge that information. I can have all the confidence of that and teach this blindfolded, backwards, upside down. What I can't do as a man is decide to sit up there and love you the way that a mother can, nurture and care for you the way that a mother can, have the outlook that a woman would basically have. Again, we can't do that because we're men. So again, women aren't looking at how detrimental the things that they are speaking and doing are to a lot of the men that they say that they love and care about and all of this other. Like I said, people don't understand. And I want a lot of women to understand just because you're not saying it doesn't mean that other women aren't. And it's great that you're not one of the ones out here saying it, but that doesn't mean that the women out here that are saying it, that it's not affecting men. It is. And like I said, this is why a lot of guys out here are, dealing with the situations themselves. Going into video games, they're going directly into alcohol, directly into drugs, or worse. The numbers speak directly for themselves. But like I said, this is something that, women ain't really worried about because women are winning, correct? And that's all that matters. That's the whole main thing when it deals with a lot of the deal with the feminist movement. As long as women are winning, no matter what the cost is, that's all that matters. No matter how detrimental, no matter how negative things the outcome may be, as long as women are on top and winning, that is it. And the main thing that women are not going to understand is that you are going to be lonely at the top. There's going to be a point in time where men are going to be in a very, very, very rare shortage. And the only ones that you're going to have to blame for that is your peers. Because again, men are just going to sit up there and fight something for so long up until they get tired and they're like, yo, whatever, y'all got it. Like I said, the moment in time that men start actually giving up, they don't got that fight and they're not trying to really march for it no more to try to sit up there and hold and keep that place. Oh, it's done. It's done. And as stated before, by 2045, half of the population of women will be single. Because like I told a lot of women directly out here before, there are more women out here than there are men. So if you think that the dating game is really tough for women at this moment in time, 2045 is going to be a great ride. But like I said, a lot of women are not going to see it and they don't really care because they feel like it's not going to matter for them. They're just going to sit up there and have the effect now to carry on that message to help bring up the 2045. And like I said, they were starting to list some numbers in there when it dealt with women going through the exact same thing. But, it's not really to the same extent. Because even though women are also doing it, it's not to the same level. It's not to the same numbers. It's not to the same effect. So, like I said before, shout out to the feminist movement. Y'all out here, y'all doing it. Y'all are doing it. Shout out to the women that's also following feminist movement to a T. Y'all really doing it big out here. And at the end of the day, if you happen to lose your son, if you happen to lose a husband, a boyfriend, or whatnot, like I said, you better start looking at the women that are amongst you because a lot of them do not have your best interest at heart.